Hey guys, do you have some free time? If you have some free time, then let's read together. Again with our book Cookie, continuing chapter 13. It's so exciting, right? Because the last chapter, chapter 12, Beauty and her mom decided to move out of the house because they cannot take her father anymore. Yeah, like Beauty's dad is so mad and he's like a crazy man. So they can't stand him anymore, so they need to move out. So in chapter 13, let's see how it went. 13. Mom started the car and we drove off. Where are we going, Mom? I asked. Mom didn't answer for a minute. I thought she was just concentrating on her driving. Then she gave a shaky little laugh. I don't know, she said. Oh, I said. Mom, carry on driving. I bit my lip, thinking hard. Well, there's your mom, my Nana. I suggested. No, said Mom. Not if she's still with that same boyfriend. I left home at the age of 16 on account of him. My mom didn't seem to care much. She certainly wouldn't welcome me back with open arms. Well, okay, not her then, I said quickly, because Mom was sounding that she might burst into tears any minute. My other granny was dead. We didn't really seem to have any proper relation. I thought about my friends. I thought about my best friend, Rana. My heart started beating faster. Well, we could go to the Mashal's, I said. Who? Said Mom. Rana's family. Oh, Beauty, we don't know them properly. I don't even know Rana's mom's first name. I've only ever said hello to her. We can't just turn up on their doorstep, said Mom. I know Rana, I said stubbornly, and Mr. and Mrs. Mashal are ever so kind. They really like me. I know they like you too. No, said Mom. Get real, Beauty. We can't just up stick and go and live with these Mashal. This isn't just for one night. This is forever. Well, if we want it to be forever, Mom slowed down, we could go back. I thought hard. I was nearly crying too. I was so frightening having to make decision. Dad had always told both of us what to do. Should we go back to Dad? If we went down on our knees and said sorry enough times, he would welcome us back with open arms. But then I thought of those arms swinging away through the air and smashing all those cookies Mom had made so lovingly. I thought of his hand unlatching Birthday's hutch and shooing him out into the garden. We're not going back. We're looking forward. I said, right, said Mom, and she reached out and squeezed my hand. Two girls together, driving on and on and on into the sunset. I said, driving and driving and driving until I let my voice tail away. We were both silent. I took a deep breath. I suppose we can always sleep in the car, Mom. Oh, Beauty, bless you. No, we're definitely not doing that. I'll make sure there's a proper roof over your head. I'll sell some more of my jewelry. It's just tonight. And Sunday that are the problem. But don't worry, I'll think of something. Mom drove on, staring straight ahead. She was gripping the steering wheel so tightly, her knuckle looked about to burst through her skin. What's that wrong? What's that song? Don't worry, be happy, she said. She didn't know all the words, so she sang the same line over and over again. I stared out of the window. Everything looked astonishingly ordinary and everyday. Street after street, shop, restaurant, houses, a happy home estate. Mom, I know where we can go. Auntie Avril. Mom slowed down, thinking. But she's your dad's ex-wife, she said. Well, you're going to be his ex-wife too, and she likes us. She just sent me those lovely felt pens. Oh, Mom, let's go to Auntie Avril. She lives on the Footbrush estate, and that's just over there, look. Well, maybe we could try, Mom said doubtfully. She reversed into a side entrance and drove back to the Happy Homes Fruitbush estate. Are you sure it's this one? There are so many blessed Happy Home estates, said Mom. She lives at 7 Cherry Drive. I know it's from writing her thank you letters. I peered out of the car window. That's Lime Avenue and Grape Lane. All these fruity names. I wonder what else your dad made up. Do you think there's an Apple Alley? What about a Banana Bend or Raspberry Road? We started giggling hysterically as we drove around the estate. Hey, look, Cherry Drive, I said. Well done, Beauty. Mom drove up outside number 7. It was less than half the size of our own home, a small, shrunken, semi-detached happy home with a narrow strip of grass at the front. But Auntie Avril had put trellis up on her brickwork so that clematis and wisteria hung lushly, softening the red of the brick. She would planted pennies in her garden, and there was a hanging basket of pink petunias swing above the blue front door. Her doormat said VDKBNDL. We hope Auntie Avril would say welcome too. Right, steady go, said Mom. She opened up her handbag and peered at herself in the mirror. God, I look such a mess. No, you don't, Mom. You look lovely, I said. Come on. We got out of the car and went up the drive together. I rang the bell. We waited, holding hands. Then the door opened and Auntie Avril stared at us in surprise. She looked older than I remembered, and she was a lot plumper. Her hair was a very bright yellow blonde. Good Lord, Dilly's a beauty. She peered behind us. Where's Jerry? Mom and I looked at each other uncertainly. Auntie Avril put her hand to her mouth, smudging her red lipstick. Oh God, he hasn't died, has he? Oh, no, he's fine, said Mom. It's just, she swallowed. Can we come in, Avril? Yes, of course, only I'm going out in about half an hour. Still, there's plenty of time for a cup of tea. Ain't you come? We trooped in after her. We automatically took our shoes up at the front door. Auntie Avril kept her high heels and laughed at us. I see Jerry's got you well trained, she said. Come into the living room. It was a warm little room with a dark crimson carpet and a black leather sofa with furry cushions, as pink as the petunias. There was a big white cat crowed decoratively at one end. You've got a cat, I said. That's my cream puff. Give her a gentle shove and she'll make room for you, said Auntie Avril. Goodness, you're getting a big girl, Beauty. Of course. It's your birthday today, isn't it? Many happy returns. Thank you ever so much for my lovely felt tips, Auntie Avril. They were just what I wanted, I said, nestling near Cream Puff. I delicately ran my fingers down her soft fur, and she sighed and quivered. You have brought her up very nicely, Dillies, said Auntie Avril. Oh, she means it, Avril. She loves crayoning. She's ever so good at art. Well, Beauty's good at most things. Not a bit like me, said Mum. Not much like Jerry either, said Avril. Well, he's bright enough. No flies on him. I'll go and make us that tea then. Or would you like something stronger, Dilly? You look as if you could do with a pick you up. Shall we have a little gin? It'll have to be very little gin because I'm driving, said Mom, unless she didn't dare say the rest. Auntie Avril busted around, making 2 gin and tonics and a special lemonade for me, with a couple of cherries and a weeny paper umbrella, just like a real cocktail. Cream Puff crept right onto my lap and started purring when I stroked her. It's lovely to see you both, said Auntie Avril. Well, we'll have to get together more often. After all, we're a family, sort of. I started to dare hope we might be the start of a wonderful new life together, Auntie Avril, Mom, and me. I imagined living in this cozy little house, playing with cream puff every day, sipping cocktails every evening, all of us dancing up and down the carpet in our outdoor shoe, with no one to tell us ever. Come on then, Auntie Avril said, glancing at her watch. Tell me why you're popped around out of the blue. It's Jerry, isn't it? Well, yes, said Mom. We've split up. Auntie Avril sighed, and down the rest of her gingham tunic, she reached over and patted Mom's knee. Oh, you poor little darling. Still, you know what it feels like now, so who has he left you for? Not another little blonde. No, Jerry hasn't left me. Mom took a deep breath. I've left him. What? Auntie Avril looked astonished. When? Just now. We packed our bags, Beauty and me, and walked out. But why? I just couldn't stand it anymore, Mom said shakily. What did he do? He just kept shouting at us, battling us, telling what to do all the time, Mom said, starting to cry. I know he's very stressed about his work. It's all going wrong. There's even some talk of bribery. I suppose he could be in really big trouble. But there's no excuse for being so mean to us. I eased Cream Puff off my lap and went to put my arm round Mom. Oh, don't you worry about our Jerry, said Auntie Avril. He's always stressed. He's always in trouble, but I'll fix it. Just you wait and see. I know he can be a rope in at times. That's just the way he is. The way most men are. Come to think of it. But he's not such a bad egg, Dillies. He's in the world of you and Beauty. He set you up in a lovely home. He lavished money on you. What more could you want? He was terrible today, humiliating me in front of Beauty's party guests. He organized this ridiculous stretch limo and ticket for birthday Bonaza. Oh, well, really? That doesn't sound particularly humiliating. It sounded like he was doing his best to give Beauty a lovely birthday treat. Grow up, Dillies. Jerry's not many fault, as I know all too well, but you could do a lot worse. He broke all the cookies Mom made specially and let my birthday rabbit out of his cage, and a fox killed it, I said, starting to sob too. Oh dear, that's a real shame, darling. But you don't break up a happy home just for that. It isn't a happy home, even though it's got that stupid name, said Mom. We have not been happy there, Avril. It's getting to Beauty as well as me. I've never been able to stand up for myself very well, but I can stand up for my little girl. She needs a fresh start. Somewhere quiet and peaceful where she's not shouted at all the time. And where's that? Said Auntie Avril. There was a silence. You don't mean here with me, right? She said. Well, if we could just stay a few days until we get on our feet. I found myself a job, Mom suggested timidly. You have to be joking. You can't stay here. Whatever what Jerry said. Well, I have a rough idea what he only said. Only I'm not using that sort of language in front of Beauties here. Don't forget, Jerry's given me this house. I'm not risking it, putting his nose out of joint. I don't want to find myself shoved out of the street homeless. I don't ever want that. But we're homeless now, said Mom, snuffling. We haven't got anywhere else to go. What are we gonna do, Avril? I don't know, darling. She looked at her watch again. I'm gonna be late. I'm meeting 3 of my girlfriends in town for a pizza, and then we'll go to Gala Bingo. It's not exactly a wide night out for a Saturday, but it's likely a tall, dark stranger. It's gonna be calling at my time of life. Do yourself a favor, Dilly. Jerry's not tall and he's not dark, and he's certainly not a stranger. But he's old man, and if I remember correctly, he can be fun to be with. Stop this nonsense and get yourself back there sharpest. No, said Mom. I know you mean well, Avril, but we're not going back. We just have to find some place else. Where exactly? Said Auntie Avril. Perhaps we can go to the council on Monday, and their fun is a little flat, Mom said desperately. Auntie Avril laughed at her. I was starting not to like her now. They've got a waiting list a mile long. You silly woman. You and Beauty would never qualify in a million years. You've got luxury six-bedroom house. You deliberately made yourself homeless. Well, there are still refugees, aren't there? Said Mom. For better wives. So had Yeri better do? He slapped my face and he twisted my wrist. Oh, get a grip, Dillies. Most of those poor women in those places have been bitten to a gulp. They give their right arm to swap places with you. If I'm honest, I still would, even though I know Yeri's no angel. Well, you have him then, said Mom. I don't stand a chance. I'm way past my sell-by date as far as Yeri concerned, and most men too, apart from the daft old codgers. You think twice, Dilly. It's a lonely life without a man. It's lonely life with the wrong man, said Mom. She drained her glass and then stood up. All right, enough talking. So now I have to go right now. Look, like you don't mean you have to go. She drained her glass and then stood up. Well, thank you very much for the drink, Avril. We must let you be off to your friends. You don't have to go. Look, you can stay here tonight by all means, if you really won't go back. There's heaps to eat in the fridge. You just help yourself. Have another drink or two. What's your bit of or tell you whatever. I've only got one bed in my spare room, and I'm sure you won't mind squashing up together. I'll be back around 10:30 or 11. Then we'll talk about things in the morning. I'm sure you'll see things differently then. You've got to consider Beauty what's best for her. Think about it, Dilly. Ta-da then. She kissed Mom. She kissed me, slipped on her lilac leather jacket, and rushed off. Mom and I sat either side of Cream Puff, neither of us saying a word. Mom nibbled the edge of her fingernail, staring down the deep red carpet. Are you thinking about it, Mom? I asked in a tiny voice. I think so hard my flippings had going to burst, said Mom. She's a bit harder, breaking one of her lovely manicured nails. Don't, Mom. What? She hadn't even realized what she was doing. You would chill right down to your knuckles if you don't watch out. I don't want a mom with fingers all frayed at the edge. I said it to make her laugh, but she still looked as if she was going to cry. Everything's on bonkers, she said shakily. Maybe I am. Oh, Beauty, I don't know what to do. Let's stay here tonight. I like it here, I said, stroking Cream Puff. She stretched herself lazily. She obviously liked it here too. Maybe Auntie Avril would change her mind and let us stay for a while. I could do all sorts of errands for her. Free Cream Puff, make a cup of tea, and do the vacuuming, and you could... What could I do? You could make us cookies, I said. I was serious, but this time Mom snorted with laughter, even though the tears were still running down her face. A fat lot use of that, she said, blowing her nose. No, Beauty. We'll have to go somewhere else tomorrow. Auntie Avril's right. Your dad would be furious. It's very kind of her to let us stay now. Come on, let's go and see what's in the fridge. There were lots of special ready meals for one. We heated two in Auntie Avril's microwave and ate them at her tiny kitchen table. I hardly been able to eat any of my special birthday buffet. I realized I was starving now. I wolfed my meal down and most of Mom because she just stirred her food round and round with her fork. She was thinking again, frowning hard at her plate, twisting her knife and fork round and round like the hands of a clerk. I leaned forward and rubbed her frown lines with my fingers. We'll be okay, Mom, I whispered. Yes, of course we will, she said. Tell you what. Shall we see if Avril's got some flour and sugar and stuff? We could make her some cookies as a thank you present. Do you think she'll like that? I think she'll love your cookies, Mom. You start looking for all the ingredients then. I'll go and get the cases. I remember to pack my recipe book, Mom said proudly. We make sugar and spice cookies, raiding Auntie Avril's spices. rag and sprinkling cinnamon and cloves into the cookie dough. We washed up carefully while the cookies were baking, while the cookies were baking, looking anxiously at Auntie Avril oven every 2 minutes in case it might misbehave and burn them. When we opened, the cookies looked perfect and smelled delicious. We could have one each just to make sure they were right. It was getting near my bedtime, but I didn't want to go to bed and leave Mom sitting worried all by herself. I definitely didn't want to do that. Oh, you might as well stay up if you're not sleepy. After all, it's your birthday. I totally forgotten it was still my birthday. It seemed to have lasted for weeks already. Mom switched on Auntie Avril's television, but we couldn't settle to watching anything for more than 2 minutes. I know, said Mom. You packed your Sam and Lily DVD, didn't you? You bet I did. Well, run and fetch it then. I slotted Sam and Lily into the DVD player. Mom and I curled up together to watch. Cream Puff woke up to watch too. Who do you want to see? Said the voice. As Sam and Lily spun round and round, the little children sang, Sam and Lily in the rabbit hutch. Mom and I sang it too. Hey there, said Sam directly to me. He looked surprised to see me squashed up on a slippery leather sofa in a completely strange room. Lily blinked at Cream Puff. How you doing? Asked Sam. I'm fine, I said. Sam put his head on one side. Well, maybe I'm telling fibs, I whispered. I glanced at Mom. She was frowning again, nibbling at her nail, clearly not concentrating on the program. Sam, Mom and I have left Dad. Something terrible happened. I can't say it in front of Lily. We're at Auntie Rose now, but we can't stay here and we haven't got anywhere to go. I mouthed. Oh dear, oh dear. Sam said softly. I think you and Mom need a little break. How about a holiday? He raised his voice, asking everyone now. Where did you go on holiday? Do you go to the seaside? We don't really go anywhere on holiday, I said. We went to Marbella once, but Dad got all fidgety and bored on the beach and said it was a waste of time. Lily didn't like going holiday much, said Sam. She doesn't like too much sun. She didn't like getting her paws all sandy. She doesn't like paddling. She doesn't even like ice cream. Isn't she a funny bunny? I love sunbathing. I love build a sun castle. I love swimming in the sea, and I especially love ice cream. So do I said. I should have a little holiday right now, Sam said. But he stopped and he had to talk with another kid too. Oh, your DVD finished, pet. Yeah, Mom. So what do you think dads are doing? He'd be ranting, I said. But he's all by himself. I imagine Dad stopping up and down the house in his sock, bellowing abuse. I saw him very big at first, but he started to get smaller and the empty house got bigger until he was scampering about like a mouse. Squeak. Mom, guessed Sterling. I feel kind of sorry for Dad. I know, so do I. But if we went back, if he just start all over again, I know that too. We were quiet for a little. I thought of Dad bashing the cookies. I thought about birthday. Beauty, don't cry, darling. Okay, Mom, look, this sounds daft, but do you think Baby Rabbit go to heaven? Yes, definitely, said Mom. And do you think he'll be whole there? His little head will be back in place. Yes, of course. He'll be skipping about with all the angels. They'll have little argument over who gets him as their special pet, said Mom. We were quiet again. We heard the front door open and Auntie Avril come in. We heard her go into the kitchen and give a little gasp. We nudged each other. Now she must have spotted the plates of cookie. We heard her glass clinking downstairs, and then after 10 minutes or so she came upstairs. We stayed quiet until she'd been in bed a while. Then I whispered in Mom's ear, Are you still awake? Yes. I know you're right, Auntie Avril's okay, but we can't stay here. So have you thought can we go? I thought and thought and thought, but I haven't come up with anything just yet, said Mom. I think I know where we can go. Where, darling? The seaside. But we don't know anyone at the seaside, do we? Well, it doesn't matter, does it? We could pretend we're gonna holiday. We haven't had a holiday for ages. Okay, she said. Then what we'll do for tomorrow anyway. Well done, Beauty. It's a great idea. So bye guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video for more chapter.